I laid hands on someone last year. He told me that they had diagnosed him with a certain kind of cancer. I laid hands on him and I spoke God's word. Let me describe the prayer I prayed with him. He came to see me. I laid my hands on him and I asked him, I said, what do you want? So he repeated all the problems. I said he wants to be healed of cancer. So all I said was done. That's all I said. Having prayed for him, he had the reports, the cancer report. He had the reports with him. But he said he noticed that he started to add weight again. So he became worried that because he had a strict diet that he was following and he started to put on weight. So one of the tests that they were supposed to do, there is a sort of a deeper test that they're supposed to do for the cancer cell. So he went back to have the test run because they were going to start, they had scheduled him for chemotherapy. So when he went to run the test again, that was to allow them to run chemotherapy, he said he noticed that when they were bringing the test result, when they were going to tell him the test result, that there was some form of shock on the face of doctors. So he was afraid that they were going to bring him a bad news. But he says the doctors mentioned to him that they couldn't now, I don't know medical terms, I don't understand the medical language, but in my layman understanding, they couldn't find the cancerous cells anymore. So they told him they were going to put him up for more tests. So they put him up for more tests and he reached out to me and communicated with me. He said, man of God, it looks like I've been made whole. I told him, I said, I don't think it looks like. I know that you've been made whole. So having run the tests and the tests came back negative, a month or two after, he calls me and says that he's noticing the symptoms that he noticed in his body that made him go for the earlier tests that made them confirm that he had cancer. So I told him, I said, before you go back for that test, before you return back for that test, because the tests that you ran before did not really help your mind. They've told you you are cleared, but somehow, because when he told me that time, he said, it looks like I've been made whole. It looks like I'm fine. That it looks like suggested to me that what had been done on him by the Spirit had not done on him. It had not dawned on his spirit. Something was done for him, but had not yet dawned on his spirit. So I knew, I was waiting because I knew that somehow the enemy doesn't just like to give up on a fight like that. So he reached out to me. Again, let me describe the prayer I prayed with him. He came to see me. I laid my hands on him and I asked him, I said, what do you want? So he repeated all the problems. I said he wants to be healed of cancer. So all I said was done. That's all I said. That's all I said. That's all I said. That's all I said. So just in case you see any disease, the power of God is better than all of them. There is no disease that cannot kill. Malaria that we used to hold in our body for a while and dance. The thing that's stronger than malaria is devil. When Jesus came to steal, to kill, and destroy, I'm sure it's malaria I was looking at. That thing is excessively deadly. So as cancer kills, malaria too kills. But the power of God is greater than them all. What makes people think that malaria is not that strong is because there are drugs for it. Most people's faith is not really in the power of God. It's in the availability of drugs. Some people tell you that, I believe God can heal me. It's not really true. They know that if he had reached one point, nothing wrong with taking drugs. Don't hear what I don't tell you. But sometimes some people's mind that they say, I believe that God will heal me, is not really that they think that God will heal them. It's because they know the statistics that there are drugs available for that condition. That's why when somebody dies, everybody moves on because there's no drug for that one. I'm not saying faith people don't die. I'm simply saying that there is a way faith people will still keep behaving with the dead until they put the person inside the ground. Because somewhere in his mind, he knows he carries something that has the ability to restore life. The doctor knows that his drugs work. So even though he treated somebody who died, he still keeps applying that drug because he knows the science checks out. People die in hospital for something that somebody recovered from. I bet you've not seen them do surgery for someone. Same surgery they did for somebody else, and the person went on to live a good life. The person died, another person died. But the doctors will not stop applying that method because they know the science works. The word works. So I told him, I said, before you go, what did I tell you when you came? He told me, Pastor, what you said is done. I looked at it. I saw that done that I said to him, his brain made light of what I said. I said to him, let me recommend these messages on our Telegram channel. Listen to this in the morning. Take it like drug. Listen to this in the morning. Listen to it in the afternoon. Listen to it at night. Listen in the morning. Listen to it in the afternoon. Listen to it at night. I'll tell you why I selected those messages. One of the reasons I selected those messages was that in those messages, God's word was being taught. The power of God was being expressed. But beyond it, it was being done in a very playful manner. I looked for very old messages. That's why I had not deleted many of things on our Telegram channel. I looked for old messages where it was not packaged. Messages were recorded with phone. And in the messages, I was laughing, I was catching fun, I was very happy because I wanted him to realize that the power of God was not transmitted through Ishan. So once in a while, he will reach out to me. He'll tell me, Pastor, I listened to this message today. Pastor, you are funny. Pastor, you are funny. I laughed. So after a while of listening to the messages, he reached out to me and told me that he knew within himself that Christ had made him whole. I told him, I said, it's time to run. Go and check. We don't know, I don't know whether the symptoms that returned were because of normal malaria or because of that cancer had returned. But what we know is that the results returned and confirmed the last results that the man is still free from cancer.